Let the record show that 5 are in favor of discussing this at the next meeting, and there's 2 abstentions. Next item on the agenda here is revised personnel guidelines. Revised personnel committee guidelines.
I make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to and the question's been called. Is that really fair without discussion?
Yeah, are we not going to have a discussion on this matter since the 2 members of this personnel committee that are sitting here on this council have been blindsided by this, these committee guideline, what are we calling it? Revised personnel committee guidelines. I'm quite sure that the trust board members that are on this committee also are not aware of this. So I'm requesting who submitted the revisions of these guidelines?
Chief and I worked on these together after a discussion with a couple of employees who were very unhappy.
And additional employees that have expressed a great concern.
So you consulted with the employees and not the trust board and the tribal council members that are on the committee?
No, they don't want to talk to me.
I didn't know I thought we passed it.
I am making a revision. I'm making a motion to change it.
This is
We
coming
haven't even
from,
read it, Bonnie.
Well, read it. It's 14 lines. You want it read aloud? Chief, may I read it aloud?
Good.
Personnel Committee Guidelines. 1, the Personnel Committee shall be comprised of 3 members, the Human Resources Manager, the Tribal Operations Manager, and the Chief Financial Officer. The Human Resources Manager will chair this committee. Meetings of the Personnel Committee will be as needed per any member of this committee. Meetings are for the Personnel Committee members and the Chief only due to the sensitivity and confidentiality of employee files. All information shared or provided will be kept in strictest confidence. The Tribal Council may request to schedule a meeting with the Personnel Committee. The meeting will be conducted during an executive session. The Personnel Committee will follow the Delaware Tribe of Indians personnel policy to resolve reported personnel issues. The Human Resources Manager will maintain exact files on each employee as to conduct work productivity, reprimand, and probation. Documentation will be in each employee's file. The Human Resources Manager will keep accurate records of sick leave, personal leave, and attendance on the job. The Human Resources Manager will keep accurate records of dates of employment. The dates of employment, termination, raises, workman's comp claims, merited acknowledgments of performance beyond the requirements of the position, and all other relevant information. Human Resources will follow the federal and state laws when they are mandatory. The Tribal Operations Manager will perform department head reviews each year, preferably on the date of employment, and the written review will be placed in the permanent employee file. The Tribal Operations Manager will observe employees at the workplace on an irregular basis or when she is aware of incidents or other advisements as reported. Any member of this committee issuing a reprimand to any employee shall have a witness present, another personnel member or a department head.
This has just changed the whole intent of it.
No, it didn't.
Some of these are foreign to me.
Most of them are in there.
Well, several of them are. The personnel Are you talking about three, comprised of 3 members?
Yes,
And you're not talking, how about, there's Michelle and me and Joe and Roger
right,
on that committee.
right.
You forgot to put us on there.
No, we're removing those positions.
Oh, so you want to get rid of our input?
Well, I think the whole council has an
Exactly.
Yes, that's exactly what is being said. No trust board or council on this.
I believe we've had members here that have come in and said, why in the world do we have elected officials on here?
You know what, one of the things that, Bonnie, why we have them, why we have more than what you have down here, is because we're not employees of the tribe. There's 4 of us that are not employees. These other 3 are employees. The ones that, the members are employees. And that means that you and the chief can control them, it sounds like, is what I think. But that's just my opinion. Also, I thought that any member of this committee, see, what we had on the original one, is that no member of the committee could reprimand an employee. Isn't that right? Michelle, do you have a copy? I don't even have a copy.
There's not even a copy of the previous
The previous
guidelines
one,
that
I
have been
know.
approved, no.
I make
This
a
has just
motion
been
we
thrown in
table.
last minute and is another attempt that's been ongoing for the last couple of months to get rid of the committee, suspend it. What's the number of terms that have been used?
Well,
It's an attempt to-
I object on the grounds that we should rescind the resolution.
There was no resolution on these guidelines. It was
You
a
don't
motion.
have to pass the guidelines though,
We passed the guidelines on a motion.
so we don't rescind that.
No, I'm revising.
Assistant chief who is not on the committee is submitting revised guidelines
To the committee.
for the committee.
I still
Yes.
object.
Call for question.
The question's been called. All in favor of these guidelines, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Raise your hand.
4 ayes, 3 opposed.
Let the record show that the guidelines are passed, 4 yes, 3 opposed.
This is so underhanded. They didn't even send these out. You didn't even send them out so we could look
I
at them.
didn't
We had
finish
no
until
idea.
this morning.
Well, that was convenient.
It was.
Well, you know what, next month we can revise them back to what we want them.
We can keep going
Well,
back and forth. I mean,
we
if
can-
that's,
we
I
can
find
if
this
there's a
extremely
majority.
childish and.
You just have to go with the majority.
It is so childish. I'm just appalled. This is how we run our business. We make a decision and then 2 people come in and change everything.
It was a majority vote in
It
it.
was 4 people in there.
No, I'm talking about the revision. All 4 of you, did all 4 of you get together?
No.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. We had 2 people come in here and revise what we'd already done and kicked us off.
I guess I was kicked off too.
I guess so. Yeah, without the tribe's input.
You weren't kicked off, you were just replaced as committee chair. You resigned from the committee, just to clarify what actually happened.
Okay, let's move on.
Oh, let's really clarify. We can talk about it later.
I thought we already
Because you
did.
refused my phone call, so,
We've already discussed this, but
yeah, we can discuss it again. If you want to do it public, we can do it public. Come on. Don't.
what is that?
Council members, we are going to move on to the next item on the agenda.
Right. And Chief and I worked on these editorial committee guidelines also because Leslie had a concern with the number. It said 4, I believe, and she was questioning what would happen if someone dropped off. Is it not a committee anymore? So I went in and took that wording out. And also I took out where they would be in charge of defending the First Amendment rights. I think they need to bring that to us. The committee should not be put in the middle of that. They should bring that to council. Then at the end, I added, the editorial committee will not take any direction from any individual tribal council member, but will receive direction only from the council as a whole. Any questions concerning content that needs addressed by the council should be sent via email to all council members.
Do you have any problem with that, Leslie?
I have a copy.
You've never seen it
I
either?
haven't even seen these revisions either.
We've never seen it either, so I guess you're in good company.
So I make a motion, we change the guidelines for the editorial committee.
And I'll second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded to change the guidelines for the editorial committee. Discussion.
Well, since we haven't ever seen them, I can't possibly vote on this.
You want to read them?
I don't have anything to compare them to either. Why do I know, how do I know what's been slipped in? Because we approved them once, and unless I had I want to hear what the chairman of the editorial committee has to say. She may not like them. And she may want her own revisions.
And she'll come back with them, like she said. She's sure those
I
will
don't-
change.
I say we table this, editorial chief.
Wait a minute, Leslie's got-
I want to table this
Leslie.
editorial committee guidelines until our chairman of the editorial committee can have a chance to review them and make a assessment.
There's a motion on the floor.
I
A
appreciate
table
that.
overrules it.
Just after quickly reading, I think that these guidelines are okay, but like I said, and I want to make sure that it's clear for the council. Still, the people that we have volunteering for the committee going forward, our intent is to write additional guidelines and present those.
Absolutely.
There is some, I welcome volunteers, and I think that the team that we have, we're willing to listen to different opinions about things and discuss those. And come together to make sure that we're producing something that is not, partial to one way or the other. That it's a nice full range, from the people, really. So we want to tighten up guidelines and put those forth. There's some discussion, I think, on whether there's going to be control from council or not on what kinds of things will be submitted and who will be on the committee. And so that'll be a concern that we'll have to come back with you for. My personal thought on that is I'm kind of on the fence on it, really. I think that